All right, moving on to the third session of today. Please welcome our speaker, Mr. Delon, Technical Evangelist of Microsoft. He's going to present digital transformation and the Internet of Things. Delon, please.
Hello, everyone. This is Delon, a technical evangelist from Microsoft Hong Kong. So today, my topic is Microsoft's approach to IoT, digital transformation, and the Internet of Things. So the first half of my speech will be more on the IoT background and the current trends, and also I will talk more about the digital transformation. And the later part of my speech will be an introduction to our Azure IoT platform. So let's get started. Well, the Internet of Things isn't a technology revolution. IoT is a business revolution enabled by technology. So the truth is, there's no standard definition of the Internet of Things. Well, if you have heard or read about IoT, chances are you have come across a number of different perspectives. Well, despite how complex an IoT solution is, it essentially comes down to these four areas. So physical things, such as line of business assets, including industry devices or sensors. Those things have connectivity to the internet, to the cloud, or to people, to each other. And those things that connect and communicate and control data. And this may include information gathered from the, let's say, environment or inputted by the users, right? And then there are analytics performed on that data to provide insights. And lastly, insight does not impact the bottom line unless we take action. So how do you apply these components or building blocks to your business transformation journey? Well, here is an example of some real-world use cases we're seeing working with customers and partners. While there are a lot of opportunities, interesting IoT scenarios unfolding in the consumer space based on our experiences and working with partners and customers, we see the majority of IoT values being enabled in the commercial space nowadays is coming from the B2B scenarios. Well, let me name some of our IoT partner solutions from different verticals. For example, Rockwell Automation, that is helping its oil and gas customers improve efficiency by monitoring their supply chain assets. Or ThyssenKrupp Elevator, that is doing predictive maintenance on elevators to prevent unexpected, unscheduled downtime for their customers. Well, of course, there is, as a solution provider, you could very well be working with a customer that is creating a consumer product, let's say like a car manufacturer. However, the value you'll be providing in this B2B2C scenario, is helping that organization to build an enterprise class IoT solution so that they can launch their products. So in Microsoft, our goal is to provide you with the best platform to do this. So for example, in the retail industry, on the right-hand side, Arca Continental is the second largest Coca-Cola bottler in Latin America and one of the largest in the world. And we're actually helping them to gain actionable insights based on millions of sensors and IoT devices that reflect the buying patterns or behavior from their customers and all the sales information. And in the banking industry nowadays, conversations with banking customers are pretty much all about big data and advanced analytics. For example, our banking customer want to predict how likely customers are going to other financial institutions and drive better product features. So in the public sector, we also help businesses find growth opportunities by using data from IoT devices across the city. And finally, in the healthcare industry, doctors, of course, they want to make proactive actions, right? So based on the information gathered from the, let's say, sensors that are attached to the patients, so that patients can actually receive the right treatments in advance to avoid any, let's say, fatal complications, etc. So how do you capitalize on IoT? Of course, the first thing, you have to connect your things, collect insights from devices, and predict the next step. That is performing some sort of predictive analysis. Look at the trends, guess what's going on, guess what's going to happen. And taking action is the most important step in any IoT scenario. Because at the end of the day, you are going to transform your back-end business processes and line of business integration. Well, when we say connect your things, it sounds really straightforward, right? However, your system must be able to achieve the following features in order to do so. For example, your system should be able to monitor and manage assets across the enterprise, access device and environmental information in real time, and your system should direct any connected devices to execute tasks, right? So that you can reduce the frequency of in-person service visits. And from time to time, your system should be able to receive status alerts from your connected device when attention is needed. And most importantly, you want to remotely deploy updates to your connected devices and being able to fix any critical issues remotely, right? This is very important. So once you have these features equipped, you can now design a better, a smarter, and a differentiated product and deliver a better customer experience. However, your system needs to be backed by a strong baseline of historical data. For example, your usage trends, the maintenance records, etc. And your decision makers in your company should be able to access to some sort of business intelligence tools and resources that bring all the data together into one view. So the last part of your digital transformation is really to develop a profitable business models and to deliver value-added services. And you should be able to monetize the data that you are collecting. So let me move on to talk about how Microsoft is enabling your IoT solutions. Well, we all know that IoT projects are really complex because it's really difficult to maintain, for example, cohesive security. People talk about security all the time. And the incompatibility issues. And people also want to easy scale the, it's really hard to scale sometimes in an IoT scenario as you have more and more customers using your service. And it's quite time-consuming to set up. So with this in mind, we introduced something called the Azure IoT Suite. Well, you may have heard of this term already. Well, this is a platform or package, a very comprehensive package that includes tons of backend components that you can mix and match to cater your needs. Well, a point of differentiators are the pre-configured solutions that we are providing. Within the Azure IoT Suite, we are providing you with pre-configured solutions that allow you to get started within minutes for common IoT scenarios. For example, remote monitoring and predictive maintenance. For example, you can see a pre-provisioned dashboard straight away, rules and events engines and a device registry. You can add new devices, change rules, and quickly get started to POC. For example, we have a remote monitoring IoT solution template for you to use, and you can tailor to your needs and convert it, let's say, into a fleet management solution. So how does it actually work? As mentioned, the solution is a combination of multiple backend components. And this architecture diagram shows the individual Microsoft products and services that are being utilized. For example, on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see there is something called the IoT Hub. Well, IoT Hub manages the two-way communication between the cloud and the device and creates a secure command and control channel. Next to it, there is something called the Azure Stream Analytics that creates and manages jobs to recognize threshold values or detect alarm triggers, etc., and sending this information where it needs to be escalated. An event hub is queried by a web job running an event processor host to determine where an alarm or alerts needs to be pushed, such as sending an alert to a dashboard or to an human agent or to their phone to take action. And there are a lot more of these backend components that you can use for example, data visualization, data storage, etc., etc. And also we have something called the Azure Machine Learning Studio for you to build your machine learning model to detect, to discover patterns from the data. So you may ask, what are the value propositions of this Azure IoT platform? So our focus, as I've mentioned a lot of times, we are building an enterprise-grade platform, and this is backed by these four main principles. First of all is security. Well, we take security very seriously and look at security from an end-to-end solution perspective when setting up the connectivity of your devices to Azure Cloud, ensuring that the data is secure in transit through encryption. And second is the speed, of course. We're making it simpler for our customers and partners to build applications faster. That's why we provide you with pre-configured solutions and also some ARM templates for you to deploy an IoT solution very easily. And the third focus is on building an open platform. So we provide you with both open source device and service-side SDKs for multiple platforms, for example, Linux, Windows. And we support the use of standard protocols like HTTP, AMQP, and MQTT for connectivity. When we talk about scalability, you can literally connect billions of devices with low latency in most of the worldwide regions because we have data centers across the world. So lastly, whether you are building your own solution with certified devices or looking for complete IoT scenarios, well, why not get connected with a trusted partner that can help tailor the Azure IoT solution to your industry-specific needs? So feel free to visit internetofyourthings.com to find any of our device partners, gateway partners, or even network and communication partners to cater your needs. So this is the end of my presentation, but now I want to talk about some of the websites that are useful when you're building an Outi solution on Azure. So if you go to catalog.azureoutssuite.com, here are all the Azure certified Outi devices tailored to your needs. So you can find any device type, any tested compatible sensors, any operating systems with different connectivity tools, etc. If you can't find your device here, feel free to register your device here. You can create your own profile and add devices. And by submitting a certification results, you will get listed on this catalog and make it discoverable. So the second website that I want to show you is our Azure GitHub website. So this is the GitHub link that consists of all the IoT SDKs for different languages, for example, C, Python, Node.js, Java, .NET, etc. And the third website that I want to show you is our Azure website. And within that, there is something called the Iot Gateway Sdk. So by clicking the green button here, you will have access to some of the documentations of how you can to explore more about our SDK architecture on different platforms, for example, Linux, Windows, etc. And you can also do all sort of simulations based on the documentation here. So these are the websites that I'm recommending you to have a visit and see if they are useful to your IoT scenarios. So I think this is the end of my presentation. Are there any questions? Otherwise, I will be staying behind for conversation in person.
Well, thank you, Delon. Are there any questions for him? No, thank you. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you.